Hey everybody, how are you? This is my first live Q&A, so please bear with me, but I'm going to do my best to answer all your questions and keep you guys as entertained as possible. Right, we have a question here from, I hope I don't butcher your name, Amar Mullah, and the question is, what did you enjoy most about shooting Mission Impossible 6? The most enjoyable thing for me was probably the stunts, and with that, the helicopter sequence. The helicopter sequence for me was just an absolutely extraordinary thing to be a part of. I have brothers who have been or still are in the armed forces, and I got a chance to do some of the kind of crazy stuff which they do by firing a heavy machine gun out of the window of a helicopter. But I was also above the mountains of New Zealand in winter, which was truly, truly beautiful. And so for me, I probably enjoyed my New Zealand trip the most. Next question from Samantha Ray. As seen from the trailer, we notice a pretty intense fight between August and Ethan. It's made clear that he does his own stunts. Therefore, do you do any stunts yourself? Yes, I do. This was a huge opportunity for me to actually do my own stunts and really get stuck in. And most movies I've done in the past, it's assumed that the actors don't want to do their own stunts. And because it's a Tom Cruise movie and Tom does all his own stunts, they actually asked me the question. And so when speaking to Wade Eastwood from Eastwood Action Stunts, and he's the second unit director and stunt coordinator, I said to him, look, anything that doesn't put anyone else's life in danger, consider me in, assume I'm saying yes. And so they did for every single stunt, bar one. Sophia Almeida, I think is how I pronounce your name, has asked the question, did you take any souvenirs from the Mission Impossible Fallout set for yourself? This time I didn't, actually. There was August Walker's wardrobe wasn't the most sexy or fashionable, so the only thing I took with me was long-term memories of a mustache. Edith Ramirez has asked, what was the funniest moment while filming Mission Impossible? I think any moment spent with Simon Pegg was probably pretty funny. And in fact, anytime we were all together in a room, because if we're all together, it's tended to be a very heavy dialogue scene. And that would require a lot of concentration and long, long hours. And towards the end of the day, we all just got so tired that we'd all start to lose our cool eventually. And I spent a lot of time either laughing directly at Simon Pegg or trying not to laugh at Alec Baldwin. Vanessa Austin Uhls, U.h.l.s, I think. I'm pretty sure it's a name, not an acronym. Hi, Henry. We saw your post thanking and honoring Tom Cruise. My question is twofold. Did you and Tom Cruise hang out on the set of Mission Impossible? And if so, what did you guys do for fun? Thanks. Thank you. We were so busy. There was no hanging out as far as when we weren't working. It was all spent sort of either rehearsing stunts together in the stunt room, rehearsing helicopter stuff, or actually performing together. And Tom and I got on really well. We really enjoyed each other's company. He's a genuinely nice guy, and he's so focused on work that when you're there, it's a pleasure to be around, because as much as it's a fun set, it's a really professional set. And I enjoyed every moment working with him. He's a true professional. Charlotte Cooper has asked, which location for Fallout was your favorite to film in? I kind of half answered that before. I apologize. It is New Zealand. New Zealand was my favorite location. Absolutely stunning. The mountains there are incredible. It's a rugby nation, and it was during the British Lions tour of New Zealand, which we got to see the two best teams in the world play each other, which was amazing fun when we weren't working. And just seeing the scenery from the open door of my helicopter every time I was shooting was amazing as well. I consider myself very lucky. And Norway, actually. Norway was a great location for me. We were only there for, I want to say, about a week, and we got about 3 or 4 days worth of shooting in, and that was stunning. Pulpit Rock, definitely worth a visit for you guys who are considering a holiday somewhere. Lauren Weber wants to know what was the funniest blooper from the Mission Impossible six six set. It's a different movie that you can share. Funniest blooper, I think. Again, there was during that scene where we're all around a table and we're all doing a lot of talking. There was a lot of times where we ended up laughing a lot to the point of not being able to speak. And that's mostly thanks to Simon Pegg and Alec Baldwin. I can't give you any specifics, really. Not on here, anyway. And yeah, those guys, they're very, very funny guys. And Tom Cruise, actually, he's a dangerous one. He's a sleeper. You think he's going to be the super pro and he's just, weathering the children misbehaving. But then towards the end of the day, he gets this glint in his eye. And when he's about to go, that's it. Like, he will make sure that you fall down laughing and you ruin every single one of your takes if he's in that mood. He's a producer. He's allowed to. Right. Tanya, Nikki, Vachins... What? Butcher it. Vachinik. Vacinik? Vincinik? I'm really sorry. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Are there any plans to make another Man from U.n.c.l.e. movie? I would like to make another Man from U.n.c.l.e. movie. I think it would be a lot of fun. I loved working with Lana Wigram, Guy Ritchie, and Armie Hammer, and I would love to work with them again. Right now, there are no plans, but you never know. It could happen. Watch this space. Beth Scholl Schneider. It's quite tough to say, but it's the one I probably got the most right so far. In the last several years, a lot of Hollywood A-listers have moved from the big screen to TV. Would you ever consider doing that? What is one show that you would love to be a part of? Yes, I would consider doing that. For the right material, I think would be a lot of fun to do a TV show, even to be a lead on a TV show and to do a long-running series or something. I think there's a lot of potential in, say, the books I've read, the stuff which I'm excited by. In my free time, I think could be made into TV shows. But as far as running TV shows now, I think Billions would be a fun show to jump onto for a guest role, or Ballers, both good shows. Daniel Thal, hopefully again I pronounced your name right. I think they've selected some of these deliberately. One thing we have seen is that you have a good sense of humor. Would you like to do a comedy? And if so, who with? I would love to do a comedy. And I don't know if I could necessarily name any one person who I'd do a comedy with. I think it would be important to do a comedy with someone who can feed well off my kind of humor and who I can feed off as well. I found that Simon Pegg and I work quite well together when we're doing funny stuff. So I wouldn't mind doing a comedy with Simon. Astrid Rios, what is your preference? Playing good guys or bad guys? I don't actually think I have a preference when it comes to good guys or bad guys. It's down to storytelling for me. I mean, for example, August is a questionable character for sure, and Superman is a very good character. I've enjoyed playing them both, and would enjoy to play them both again. But yeah, it's all down to who you're working with. I think there's really good things that can be taken from playing all different kinds of characters. Madeline Leslie, which actor, alive or deceased, do you wish you could work with? That is a very, very good question. I would really like to work. Not this is an actor who I want to work with more than anyone else, but just a name which I would like to work with definitely is Chris Pine. I think Chris Pine would be a lot of fun to work with. He's a solid actor. He's very, very talented, and it would be great to do some work with him. Shilpa Rajesh, favorite comic series that you'd like to see adapted into a TV series or a movie? Favorite comic series? I don't know. I'm a huge fan of Superman comic books, obviously, and we've covered a lot of the really good stuff from the comics in part in the movie, so I couldn't necessarily say those. But I can say one of my favorite books is Superman for Tomorrow. And that one, I think, if could certainly draw some inspiration from that. And I think it would make a really good movie. Morgan Rund. It's RND. I'm wherever you're from. That is an amazing name. And you must have a lot of fun watching people try to work it out. Hello, Mr. Cavill. I wanted to ask you, which advice would you give to someone that wants to become an actor? Becoming an actor can be very tricky, and it's definitely. I've always considered it a high risk play. There's a huge payoff if you make it, and it's not necessarily down to talent or just talent. It's down to opportunity. It's down to the way you look and what kind of look is popular at the time. But have belief in yourself, and if you honestly believe this is what you want to do, if you want to do it because you want to be a storyteller, if you want to do it because you love making movies or watching movies or TV shows, then that's a really good reason to do it. If you want to do it just to be famous, then I wouldn't recommend it, because it's there's too much of a bite to all of that and too much of a risk to play for it to be worth your while. But if you believe in yourself and you love all the stuff which I just mentioned, then just keep on going. Don't give up. And above all else, when it comes to auditions, make sure you know your lines inside and out. Don't just kind of half learn them. Don't think that I can kind of get through this monologue if I'm lucky. Make sure you know your lines perfectly. You can read them backwards even, in any accent. Because, not that you have to know any accents. That was just hyperbole. But lines are the most important thing, because you may have your scene prepared or scenes prepared one way, but when it comes down to the director hearing it or the casting director hearing it, they direct you a different way. And if you don't know your lines perfectly, then it's going to be really hard for you to adjust. So believe in yourself, keep on working hard, and yeah, learn your lines.
We got some live ones coming in.
Cool.
Scroll around there.
Thank you. Oh, this is really weird. I can see my own face. Okay. Will the moustache ever make a comeback? That is from Wafa E. Zanab. Zainab? Again, I'm doing some butchering here. I apologize. Would it ever make a comeback? I think for the right role, yeah. But I prefer being clean shaven, to be honest. And I think it's caused enough trouble for 1 decade, that moustache. Right, what else we got? Cy Jones, thanks for your service, mate. Appreciate it. That's a boot neck, by the way. He's just commenting on here. Really sorry to hear about your injury. Keep on plugging hard, brother. What we got? Oh, how do you feel this role? This is from Vilma Quevedo, or Quevedo. Yeah, Quevedo. Some really tricky names on here. How do you feel this role has enabled you to grow as an actor? That's an interesting one. I think rather than the actual character itself having enabled me to grow, the opportunity to work with Cruz and Macquarie and all of the cast, actually, they taught me an awful lot just about the industry, about how I can better myself, about what is required to be a better performer, and the experience in general. It was a year long. I made a lot of friends on that movie. That has just taught me an awful lot about being a human being. So yeah, the experience with Macquarie and Cruz and that cast helped me grow. Why do you hate mustache on yourself? From Zara Farid. I don't hate mustache on myself. I just prefer being clean shaven. That's all. What else we got here? Natasha Amaline, why didn't you name your dog Crypto instead of Cal? It's a very good question. That was an opportunity, and I could have named him Crypto, but I just found Crypto was a tough one to shout if I was calling him. Cal is easier, even though most people think I've called him Cal when I first introduced him. But yeah, it just Cal felt easier for me. What do we got here? Leah Rowell. Hi, Henry. You amazing? I hope so. And what was your favorite stunt to do? My favorite stunt to do was the helicopter sequence, for sure. Absolutely amazing, stunning, extraordinary scenery. Really, really, really cold. And I wouldn't recommend flying the mountains with the doors open of your helicopter.
One or two more.
One or two more. Okay. Let's find some good ones. Not that any of your questions aren't good ones. They're all good questions. Thank you very much for all the lovely compliments on here. Just want to say that. Angela Cetrano, I think. Would you do a movie as a Southern cowboy? I think I know what that means, and I would love to play a cowboy. Absolutely, I I like country music, and I have this weird connection, I think, with all things cowboy. I think that there may be an inner cowboy to me.
Could you dial in the Southern accent?
I don't know if I'm going to do a Southern accent just now. That's like a professional ask. And I would love to play a cowboy. Yes. I don't know when or how, but hopefully the opportunity will arise. And not necessarily a Southern cowboy, maybe a Northern cowboy. There's cowboys all over America. What else we got here? Lucy Braun, can you reload your biceps? Yes, I can. Watch the movie, you'll see it lots of times. And one more. Angie Simmons, I've read previously of your love of history. Do you prefer period pieces over other genres? Is there a particular historical figure you would like to portray? I don't know if I necessarily prefer period pieces, but I do really like them, and I would love to play in an epic period drama sometime soon. That would be a fantastic opportunity. Historical characters, Alexander the Great. I'm probably getting on a bit now to play that character, but that'd be fantastic if I could. And also, I would say Alexander the Great or why have I lost my train of thought? Let's stick with Alexander the Great for now, because I can't remember what I was going to say. But I really want to remember what I was going to say. I'm going to do one more question, because I want to finish this strong rather than on that note. Let's find something. Laura Rennie, would you ever consider 007? Yes. I absolutely would consider it. I have considered it plenty of times. If they were to, after Daniel finishes his run, if they were to come to me and be interested, I would be very interested in return. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate this opportunity. You guys all coming along for my first live Q&A, and hopefully this is the first of many more. Thanks.